Hello, my name is Jose Martinez and I'm affected with the Mandela effect. I wanted to show you some pictures of what's going on in this world. Laser cut rock and granite, laser cut holes on granite. They're laser cut. They're all laser cut, made by the Mayans, the Aztecs in Peru, Toltecs, Nizca. Oh, they're hard to see. They're all rocks cut in lasers. Okay. Melted rock. Rocks cut by lasers. A roof cut by lasers, like straight cuts on roof, 90-degree angles. Okay, I'm not fighting about the native people, Indians, Mayans, Aztecs, moving rocks. They all can be moved. But to cut granite with laser precisions and make holes, I don't buy it. So to me, the pyramids in Egypt, in Mexico, in Peru, in Yucatan, in South America, they were all built before the native people showed up. That's my opinion. Everything was already made up. This is proof.
I personally always believed in aliens from another planet and UFOs because I personally have seen them. One was particularly very, up close, probably 200 feet away above a major highway in downtown Denver, Colorado. It was on the Valley Highway, they called it. It was hovering right over the Valley Highway, which is I-25. I was heading south early Sunday morning. Very little traffic, and then I was going right by the Bronco Stadium at that time, which was right by what they call Spear Boulevard. And it was just approaching that bridge southbound on I-25, and there was a UFO hovering right over the Spear Boulevard bridge over the highway. And this thing was wider than the highway, and this was at the time about at least a 6-lane highway with shoulders and all. And the stadium was just on the right side as it was heading south. So it spanned clear across the highway, and it was at least as large as the stadium, and it was only about 150 to 200 feet off the ground, and this thing was humongous. And it was what caught my attention is it was kind of beat up, and it did have looked like paint on it, but other than that it was shiny silver, and it did have windows going around, but you couldn't see through them. And it was such a remarkable experience. I did have two people with me who later totally don't recall this event.
So this guy, he's a Mandela effect creator, and he did see one for himself. Here's another Mandela effect creator talking about this.
Okay. I'm an alien abductee. I've been an abductee all my life. I'm also a victim of the Mandela effect. I was born on the Sagittarius arm of the galaxy and been jumping around because of the Mandela effect for some time now.
So this guy's from Australia, the other guy's from Minnesota. This is something that I never talked about because I always kept it a secret. This is gonna affect my reputation. I might lose my job. I might lose my non-existent friends, and my family are gonna think that I'm more crazier than I already am. So this is very hard. The UFO that I saw was right on top of me. 4th of July, fireworks going off 2 miles away from the Broncos Stadium, just like the other guy said. We all, my sister's family, we had a gathering, barbecue, 4th of July, and we looked up and there was a red light. It's as big as a house, but that wasn't it. It kept blinking in different positions, and the weird part about it is that the ground or our faces were not turning red. That's how big the red light was. So it wasn't shooting light out. And when I looked up and I looked at it, I couldn't see any stars. So to me, it was cloaked. And it was black, cloaked. And it was like a mothership. The weird part about it is that it was the 4th of July and those fireworks were going up in the sky, and the light wasn't reflecting on the craft. It was like absorbing it. The red lights, they were blinking, they were not shining on us, they were just there. The other UFO that I saw was when I was getting on the bus. At that time, I didn't have a car. I looked up in the sky and there was like a helium balloon, silver helium balloon, just going flickering back and forth on top of the downtown buildings way up in the sky. And it was just staying there, just flickering. I was hoping it was a balloon, so I was waiting for it to move so the wind would take it and pop it or something, because it was really, really high. You know how helium balloons, they pop when they get high. So anyways, I got in the bus, I looked out the window and it was gone. The other UFO that I saw was Colorado Springs, Fort Carson, right on top of Fort Carson. It's in the news, you can look it up. The lights above Fort Carson in the news. And there was a lot of people witness of it. I was driving on Platte and Powers. I stopped my car, looked at the lights. It was around 5 o'clock, I believe. It was still light, and you can see those lights. You can see the lights. That's how bright they were. It's like you can see in the daytime. We thought it was flares or planes or nothing, because they were above the army base. It was me and another person next to me, but they said no, I don't remember. Yeah, they will go on, this one would turn off, and then they will move, and then this one would turn off, and then they would turn on, off and on, and then they stood there for about 3 minutes, and then they all turned off. Unbelievable. The other one I saw was when I was driving on Platte going west. I saw a structure right on the bottom of Pikes Peak. I figured it was a building, maybe a new structure that I wasn't aware. It was just camouflaged on the mountain, and it was thick. You can see the shadows around it. You know how thickness. It wasn't round, it was like oval, and it was thick, and it was camouflaged, and it was next to the mountain, so it was very far from me, but I could see it. It was dark, and I was driving and I couldn't stop. For some reason I didn't pay no attention to it, but it engraved in my mind, and now I'm just talking about it. I just remember it. How weird. So anyways, this is gonna be a weird video, because